Being trapped in multiple sources of consumer debt is exhausting. You have 3 credit cards, a personal loan, and a car payment. Every month, you diligently pay the minimum balances on all of them, yet the total principal barely decreases. It feels like a Sisyphean task, pushing a heavy boulder up a mountain, only to watch it roll back down at the end of the month due to compounding interest. To escape this cycle, instinct is not enough. You need a ruthless, calculated execution plan. Today, we're deploying the 2 most effective debt eradication frameworks in personal finance, the debt avalanche and the debt snowball. Before we launch our attack, there is a mandatory prerequisite. You must stop digging the hole. If you are trying to pay off debt while simultaneously accumulating new debt, you are mathematically doomed. The first directive is to freeze all credit card usage immediately. Transition entirely to cash or debit cards. The second directive is to establish a starter emergency fund, a small, highly liquid buffer of perhaps $1,000. This ensures that a minor inconvenience, like a flat tire, does not force you to swipe the credit card and derail your entire strategy. Let us examine Method 1, the debt avalanche. This framework is favored by economists and the deeply analytical. The Avalanche Method ignores the total balance of your debts and focuses exclusively on the interest rates. You list all your debts from the highest interest rate to the lowest. You continue to pay the absolute minimum on every single account to remain solvent, but you take every available dollar of surplus cash, your financial ammunition, and hurl it violently at the debt with the highest interest rate. Once that highest interest debt is completely eradicated, you take all the money you were paying toward it and funnel it into the debt with the next highest interest rate. Like an avalanche, it gains mass and momentum as it moves downward. The debt avalanche possesses mathematical supremacy. By attacking the most toxic interest rates first, you minimize the amount of total compounding interest you pay over time. From a purely logical perspective, this strategy guarantees that you will become debt-free in the shortest amount of time, retaining the maximum amount of your own capital. However, personal finance is fundamentally more personal than it is finance. The Avalanche Method has a fatal flaw. It ignores human psychology. Suppose your highest interest debt is a massive $20,000 credit card balance, while your lowest interest debt is a tiny $500 medical bill. Using the Avalanche Method, you will spend months, perhaps years, attacking that $20,000 behemoth without experiencing the psychological victory of closing a single account. The lack of positive reinforcement often leads to burnout, causing people to abandon the strategy entirely. Enter Method 2, the debt snowball. Popularized by financial behaviorists, this framework intentionally ignores the mathematics of interest rates. Instead, you list your debts in order from the smallest balance to the largest balance. You pay the minimums on everything, but you aim all your surplus capital at the smallest debt, regardless of its interest rate. By attacking the smallest target first, you guarantee a quick, decisive victory. Within a few weeks or months, that account is permanently closed. This is not a math strategy. It is a behavioral modification strategy. When you cross that first debt off your list, your brain releases a massive surge of dopamine. You experience a profound psychological shift. I am actually making progress. I can win this war. You then take the payment from that eliminated debt and roll it into the next smallest balance. Just like a snowball rolling down a hill, your payments get larger and more destructive. You gain unstoppable psychological momentum. So, which strategy is superior? If you simulate both methods on a spreadsheet, the Avalanche Method will always save you more money and eliminate your debt slightly faster. It is mathematically undeniable.
However, human beings are not spreadsheets. We are emotional creatures. Studies consistently show that individuals who use the Snowball Method have a significantly higher rate of successful completion. The motivation generated by quick, early victories provides the psychological fortitude necessary to survive a multi-year debt journey. The best strategy is ultimately the one you will actually execute. If you are highly analytical, disciplined, and motivated purely by efficiency, use the Avalanche. If you struggle with motivation, if you feel suffocated and need an immediate psychological win to keep going, use the Snowball. The mechanics matter less than the commitment. Whether you freeze it with an avalanche or crush it with a snowball, the objective is the same. Eradicate the liabilities that are draining your cash flow. Reclaim your future income. Escaping consumer debt is the ultimate prerequisite to building wealth. When you no longer owe a portion of your life to the banks, your entire financial posture changes. You move from playing survival to playing strategy. But here is where we introduce a massive paradigm shift. Up until now, we have treated all debt as a toxic poison. But in the portfolios of the ultra-wealthy, debt is not a prison. It is a tool. Tomorrow, we are going to explore the controversial and powerful concept of strategic leverage. We will dissect the critical difference between bad debt and good debt and exactly how investors use other people's money to acquire assets and accelerate their wealth. Do not miss this perspective shift. Subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.